Hello and welcome everyone. I'm the Upper Down, aka Tud, and today we are going to be continuing our Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced playthrough. Alright, so let's take a look at what we did in the last playthrough, or what we were working on rather. We have Tud in the Thief role here, working on steel armor and counter. We have Montblanc in the Thief role, finishing up his counter ability. Nexu we have in the fighter role, working on air render. Kaif we have in the warrior role, working on greased bolt. And Utulio we have in the morpher role here, working on flan. Finally, Letitia we have in the white mage role, working on shell. Once she finishes shell, I plan on switching her over to elementalist, so we can work on some debuff style abilities. Alright, do we have a mission currently? We do not. Let's venture back to the city here and pick up a mission. Twisted Flow. I've seen the Yulia River, bending and warping most strangely, but no one else can see anything. Please find out the truth. Yura, Time Mage Adept. This is one of those missions that will unlock more content in the game after being completed. There is no time limit on it. We simply need to journey to the Yuli River and complete the mission at our leisure. I'm going to take the opportunity to get into one more combat before doing that mission. There's a couple of abilities that I want to finish up before we pursue what could potentially be a boss battle. Alright, looking at the laws here, no use of items, but the use of dark magic is recommended. Our opponents here, Leroy, the Animist, Mujika, the Defender, Devenge, the Healer, Geiger, the White Monk, and Skimble, the Warrior. Primary target to take out here would be the Healer, obviously. After that, I would prioritize the White Monk and Defender, as they are the highest damage output opponents here. Alright, let's start off with the Lizard here. Unfortunately, only looking at about 16 damage, seeing as my White Mage here was initially leveled as a melee class. Her magic skill is not very high. This should be enough to finish off the opponent here. I'm actually going to take the opportunity here and morph into a panther. they have an ability that I rather like that has a high chance to petrify enemies, essentially removing them from the combat for the duration. "50-50 chance that this lands. Let's give it a try. And success. Air Render almost always does more damage than a regular melee attack would. We're looking at 50 damage here with Air Render versus 42 with a regular melee attack. Now the opponent here does have the reaction ability Last Berserk. Upon taking damage that would drop his health to critical, he will become enraged, preventing him from performing any sort of action other than a regular physical attack. But it will increase the amount of damage his regular physical attack does. A 8% chance to miss, and he missed. It's quite fortunate for me. Damage to mana points is activated. That 19 damage I just sustained went directly to the mana pool. He's going to heal himself here. Physical damage, we would be looking at 19. Or 24 if we go with magic. So let's go ahead and throw a blizzard out here. Could take out the white monk here. I think that might be the best course of action. I'm going to go ahead and use Greased Bolt, though. In the off chance that I miss, it will prevent the counterattack from going off. Go ahead and use the Petrify ability here. It's in the Scratch ability. 70% chance to Petrify. Alright, and that enemy is now removed from the combat. Should remove the warrior from the combat. And that should do it. That went well, let's keep up the good work. Mont Blanc has finished Counter, and Letitia has mastered Shell. Alright, time to give Mont Blanc a new weapon. We're going to switch back over to Juggler. He has Ball and he has Dagger. We could pick up Firebomb, which would automatically inflict Berserk on the opponent. We have Ball already, and Dagger as well. Could pick up the Juggle combo. Unfortunately, this knife does not offer anything for the Juggler, but the Rondell Dagger does. Could learn Ring. And that would be all that we have access to at the moment. So let's go ahead and learn Firebomb. Nexu only needs 10 more points to finish Air Render here. Once he does that, I'm thinking about pushing him down the Paladin route. Looks like a normal river to me. I don't see any warping or bending at all. What? Funny. I had a strange feeling there. Whoa. What was that? The river. What's going on? What was that? That black thing in the river swallowed me, and... What is this place? Am I still in Ivalice? Some kind of ruins? Wait. Is this... a crystal? A wrinkle in space. So, the crystal's magic was making the river bend. The rumors were true. The warping was a way in. I have to find out what this crystal really is. But before that, I should find a way out. Speak your name, you who profane the light. Who's there? ask again. Speak your name, you who profane the light. My name is Tud. Who the heck are you? I am the Totema Famfrit. I am wielder of the power. I am the protector. Totema? Protector? He thinks I'm after the crystal. You are an intruder. Look, I don't know anything about your crystal. I am under orders to expel all intruders. Wait, I'm telling you, I came in here by accident. There's the judge, just like a normal engagement. Well, no point worrying whether I can win or not. I just have to try. Alright, let's take a look at the laws for this engagement. No use of swords, but use of staves is recommended. Definitely want to have my units as close as possible here. I'll have to take a look at Kaif's weapon here. It does say that it is a sword. So, no melee attacks from Kaif. Actually, I don't believe Kaif can... Well, he can use his Dragoon ability, but not any sort of attacks that might use a sword. In this particular combat, you don't actually have to defeat all of the enemies. Simply defeating the boss in the middle would complete the combat. He has 160 health. There's 27, that'll put him down in the 130 range. If I attempted to use poison on him, there would be a 0% chance of success. He is immune to some status effects at least, so we'll throw Blizzard out instead. Another 12 damage. Pretty heavy hit, 41 damage. Another 20. Luckily that was a miss. I'm going to go ahead and morph into a Flan here. Having access to high-level magic will help a lot with this fight. Now, I believe Nexu's weapon, yes, counts as a blade, which is considered different from a sword. Let's go ahead and use Air Render here. There is a chance of a counterattack. that works to our benefit because it turns the facing of the enemy, allowing us to get behind him. Throw out another air render here. And just like that, the boss is now less than half health. I could throw out black magic here, but given the spacing, I wouldn't be able to avoid hitting an ally. So instead, I'm going to throw a dagger here to deal some damage. .48 health remaining on the boss. Reduce health by half. If the AI had chosen another target, it would have done more damage. Luckily for me, they did not. Unfortunately, I will have to hit my ally here, but he at least has enough health to withstand that. No good place for that spell to be used, so instead we're going to retreat and heal. Fortunately, I think this will be the end of our white mage here. She does not have the health pool to withstand an attack here. That puts us at critical health here. But that should be fine. Unfortunately, the damage output of the flan is not very high due to its affection level being rather low in the monster bank. Ah, that was very fortunate. It missed my ally, and it only hit the enemies. Unfortunately, we're going to lose Mont Blanc here. Ooh, very clutch dodge. And that is the end of this boss battle. I did it! I beat him! What is this crystal? Tell me! Why go to such lengths to protect it? The crystal is the thread that binds our world. The world I was born to protect. With the white ones, I was born. The white ones? Skilled machinists. They are the source of my power. You mean Muggles? If they wish it, I will lend you my power. Mute? When the thread dissolves, so will this world, and another world will be revealed. Who's there? What do you mean, another world? You mean the real world? What's wrong, Mute? Why, your room's a mess. Papa. Abbas came running into my room. He seemed quite flustered. Abbas, did something happen? Papa, I just remembered something horrible. All the kids at school were throwing snowballs at me, and one of the snowballs had a rock inside it. School? What are you talking about, Mute? That, that's right. I'm royalty. I'm a prince. Everyone listens to whatever I say. My word is law. This is my country. Nobody picks on me. Mama! Thank you, Babas. You may leave now. Certainly, sire. It's okay, Mute. You don't have to be scared anymore. To our people, I am Queen Remedy, but always remember, to you, I am your mother, and I love you very much. And your papa is the highest judge in the land. That means that all judges will protect you. Then, Mama, I want to make the laws stronger. Please, can I? Of course you can. You know we'd do anything for you. Your Highness, it might not be wise to do so lightly. One of the crystals has been destroyed. What? Are you certain? I see. There will surely be no complaints about stronger laws, then. I leave it in your hands, Judge Sid. As you wish. Mama. Well, I seem to have made it back in one piece. He said that the crystal was a thread. That if the thread dissolved, a new world would appear? But this world is still here. Destroying one of the crystals must not be enough. If I destroy them all, will I be able to go back home? This could be my only chance. I have to find the other crystals. Added the Moogle Battle Command Totema. Alright, Twisted Flow cleared. We gained 80 ability points. Nexu has mastered Air Render. Kaif has mastered Greased Bolt. Yatulio has mastered Flan. And our Flan is leveled up. We've gained 5 Phoenix Downs from leveling up. And we have gotten ourselves a new location to place here. I am referencing my map here to make sure I put this in the appropriate location. Can't believe they strengthened the laws again. What's new? The palace is always going to do that. I swear, the queen takes pleasure in watching us squirm. Hey, hey, watch what you're saying. You never know who might be listening. The new law's bothering you too, eh? Ha! Pretty soon laws will be nothing but a bad memory. How can you be so sure? I thought laws were everything in Ivalice. True, but there's a way around everything, my boy. Hey, have you heard about that rumor? You mean about Ivalice and his anti-laws? It's hard to believe that anyone could nullify a law. Yeah, but if you could just imagine. Nullify a law? Precisely. And Ivalice figured out how to do it? He certainly did. But if you want to meet him, forget it. He's a busy man, with many admirers, shall we say. You seem to know a lot about him. Fame has always fascinated me, you see. Ah, sorry. Have to run. I have an appointment to keep. Anti-laws? I'd sure like to meet that easel guy. Let's take a look at the missions now available. There are quite a few. 5 days, no mission requirements. Voodoo doll. I saw the matron casting a spell on that nasty doll. That must be the cause of my lady's illness. It must be. Please help my lady. Giselle, maidservant. Okay. So let's see who still needs to learn something here. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and replace the items on our party here. Nexu has finished air render, so I already have archer, hunter, and soldier abilities. I could proceed to unlock the blue mage, which would require 1 white mage and 1 black mage ability. That would then give Nexu the opportunity to learn blue mage abilities as well. However, with his mana pool being as low as it is, I think instead I'm just going to go with Paladin for now. We have defense, we have knight combo, we have subdue. We have nurse, which will heal in AoE, I believe, around the user. It's a nice ability to start off with. I'm going to go ahead and keep the shield instead of switching to the gauntlets because my resistance is rather low and so is my evasion. Keeping them a little higher with the shield would be preferable. Alright, we are working on the nurse ability here. And let's go ahead and switch our secondary to fighter tech so we can continue using air render. Kaif has finished greased bolts. Let's check and see if there are any other abilities that he hasn't learned yet that might be beneficial. Speed break, greased bolts. Mind break. Doesn't appear to be, so I'm going to go ahead and switch here to another class. Let's go ahead and bolster our gladiator abilities here. Currently we only have rush. I don't believe I have any armor that could benefit the gladiator, so just pick one and move on there. It would appear I do not have any abilities to give to the gladiator at the moment, so we'll have to stop by the shop and see what's available. We'll come back to that for now. Let's move on. Flan, Bug, Panther, and Float Eye. We have not yet learned Bomb, so we'll go ahead and start on that. Leticia has mastered Cure and Shell. Let's go ahead and switch her over to Elementalist. So we have access to White Flame, which is a healing spell, Slip Rain, which is a slow spell, and it would appear that's all we have for the moment. So we'll go ahead and start on Slip Rain here. Here I don't mind putting on the gauntlets because the resistance and evasion shouldn't play too much of a factor into our Elementalist. Alright, let's see what weapons we have access to here. We need something that will benefit our gladiator. We have access to Beatdown. We have access to Blitz. And Fire, Bolt, and Ice Swords. I'm going to go ahead and pick up the Fire Sword here to start. And due to not having a helmet, we'll have an open spot here to apply a shield as well. Let's go ahead and pick up Fire Sword there. Alright, everybody now has something that they're working on. Go ahead and send out my first companion here for a 5-day mission. Frozen Spring, 20-day mission. Someone's frozen our village's only spring, when it's not thawing. Our children are thirsty. Please help us. Nino, the shepherd. Alright, let's go ahead and send out Kaif here. This mission will require 2 battles be completed. My little brother hid my diary somewhere in my house. I need you to find it before my parents do. Edwina, concerned girl. Due to this being a battle mission, I want to try to send out someone who is not on my primary team. So I'm going to send Amelia out. Looks like she would succeed. I do not have what I need at the moment to do the You Immortal mission. Let's take a few steps around the map here. Want to avoid stepping into that particular city again, as it will trigger a battle that I am not yet prepared for. Next zoo here, Voodoo Doll was a success. We have leveled up a skill. 2 to be exact. Five more days to complete the Frozen Spring mission. Kaif here, Frozen Spring was no problem. Gained 70 ability points and the Dragon Bone. We've also gained the Yoichi Bow. And Geysa Plains is now under attack. All of my primary party is back. Refurbishing would require the broken sword, which I do not have, so we will come back to that. Lost ring. I dropped my ring in the Yulia River. It was a gift from my boo. Please, find it before he finds out I lost it. Clea, the Ice Cream Man's girl. This mission doesn't appear to have a time limit on it, so we will go ahead and pick that up. Oh, it said there at the end, 15 days. So I have to make it up to and complete the mission in 15 days. I would have enough time to stop down here first before heading up there, so we'll go ahead and do that. Alright, this is a 4-on-4 territorial defense mission with now 2 forbidden laws and 2 recommended laws. We are forbidden from using aim and knight swords, but recommended to use instruments and steel. I believe the only one that could potentially use a Night Sword would be Nexu. Yep. So I'm going to deploy Nexu in the back. Going to also put Getulio out for this battle. Want to try to complete the bomb ability that he's working on as soon as possible, because we are about to unlock another monster in the very near future that he could turn into, and I want to make sure that he is prepared for that. We're going to go ahead and start off by morphing into a panther here. The Petrify ability is just so overpowered early on that it almost makes it worth just turning into a panther for this character. Almost. We're going to avoid using Nexu here, simply to avoid the potential of receiving a red card. Now I do have access now to the Totema ability for the Moogle race. The Totema ability for the Moogles will deal magic damage. Will deal damage to mana points, I should say. So if you're dealing with a bunch of spellcasting opponents, that is a quick way to remove their mana bar. Gonna hit me with Chocobo Rush. And due to my character facing away from him, the chances are very high that I take damage here. 25, nothing too outrageous. Damage mana points. Puts Mont Blanc at critical health. We're going to go ahead and try to petrify the Moogle here. 60% chance to do so. And success. Go ahead and try to take the red bug out of this combat. And that only leaves the blue bug. Should be easy enough to take him out. Blue bug is now at about half health. Unfortunately, I will probably lose Mont Blanc here. Not a huge deal though, the fight is almost over. Going for a basic melee attack. And he succeeded. Since the only thing I can reach him with is Blaster, we're going to go ahead and try to turn him to stone. And we succeeded. Alright, Help Geysa cleared. So we have earned 80 ability points. Nexu has mastered Nurse. Let's go ahead and switch him over here to a new weapon. Let's pick up Defense. Raises weapon defense and magic resistance for 1 turn. Alright, laws for this engagement. No use of items or chivalry, but it is recommended to use dark magic and charge. The only character in my party that these laws will affect is Nexu, my paladin. Will not be able to use any of his abilities from the paladin tree. He will still be able to use Air Render, as that is a fighter ability and thus not affected by the current laws. Now I'm just going to go ahead and double check everyone here to make sure that they are still working on learning an ability. Yes, we are good. Go ahead and take a look at our opponents here. We have Toby, the Animist. We have Spengler, the White Monk. Vassal, the Warrior. Emmet, the White Mage. And Bevange, the... I believe they're called Defenders. Yes. Now, each of these enemies does have feather boots equipped, which will allow the wearer to walk on water. Normally, when you find yourself in water, you are unable to perform any physical or magical actions. Let's go ahead and... the chances of hitting are very low. I'll just go ahead and attempt to apply slow here. And we succeeded. I have now slowed that character down in the turn order, reducing them to near the bottom. See what a physical attack would look like. 42 damage versus a sword attack, fire damage attack, 52 damage. And ice breath would be 39. Okay. Flame sword it is. Let me go ahead and morph here into a panther again. White monk is too far away, so he's simply going to move closer and end turn. The white monk, I wouldn't be surprised if he attempted to cast a heal here. He did not. Okay. Alright, Nexu, we're going to go ahead and do Air Render here. If this attack crits, it should remove the Animist. It did not. I'm going to go ahead and try to attack the white monk here with another Air Render. This should remove him from the combat if it lands. Success. 1 down, 4 to go. Let's go ahead and disable the defender here with any luck. And due to the use of Disable, even though the enemy had last Berserk, a reaction that would have enraged him, because of the Disable debuff being applied, his reaction did not go off. Going to attempt a melee attack on my main character here, who has counter. Unfortunately, the counter attack did miss. And that removes him from the combat. I don't think I'll be able to do enough damage to take out the healer here, but I'll give it a try. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and attempt to turn the healer to stone. We have a 60% chance of success here. Alright, and that brings us down to 2 enemies left. Unfortunately, Nexu is too far away to do much of anything here, so we'll just simply wait. And let's go ahead and throw out another Air Render here. Tud has leveled up. And we'll go ahead and throw out some magic here so we can attempt to hit both enemies. More or less how I figured that would turn out. Vassal is now going to go heal himself. And that brings him up to 10. I'm sorry, 11 health. Let's go ahead and remove the defender from the battle. Leticia has leveled up. And this should do it for the combat. If it lands. Alright, let's try for another petrification here. and combat is over. That went well. Let's keep up the good work. Gained 50 ability points. Tud has mastered Steel Armor and Counter. And Diary Dilemma has been completed. Amelia here, Diary Dilemma was too easy. We've gained Diamond Armor, and she gained 70 ability points. We've also leveled up a skill here. Alright, let's take a look at Tud's abilities. Steel Armor is done. Go ahead and give him the hard weapon here, which will allow him to Steel Helmet. I also want to take a look at the armor we just received, the Diamond Armor. This will allow for weapon defense to be learned by the Defender and the Paladin. We happen to have a Paladin at the moment, so let's go ahead and start working on learning that. Reduces damage from weapon attacks. Pretty straightforward. Alright, and that brings us to the end of today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to like and subscribe if you're watching from YouTube. If you're watching from Twitch, please feel free to follow me for more. Alright, until next time.